Hello, fellow gardeners. This is Melissa with My Garden Retreat. So, I'm doing an Amish heirloom beefsteak tomato project here. We went to a local farmer's market, and there's a Amish produce vendor who works there, and he has some of the best tomatoes in the world. He also has other produce. We tasted those tomatoes. I mean, they were the most delicious tomatoes we've ever had in our life. And we literally sliced a bunch of those up and just sprinkled a little salt on them. And we had those for dinner as a meal in of itself. And it was actually satisfying. And that's coming from meat eaters. We are avid meat eaters for sure. But yeah, those are excellent tomatoes. So, since they were heirloom and the Amish grew them, we were like, well, those are probably some pretty well-grown tomatoes. So we fermented the seeds, and then we saved them, and then we planted them. And here we have one of our Amish heirloom beefsteaks starting to sprout up out of the soil. Right now we've got all kinds of them sprouted up, and there's this second row and this third row. Then we have several that are about this size, quite a bit bigger, that are growing on our hardening off table, which we're putting them outside and then bringing them in if there's any severe weather. So these are pretty much ready to go in the ground. We just have to finish tilling that last little bit of soil and putting up our fence. But once we do that, we'll be able to put these in the ground. And I am just really excited to see how these grow and change and how the fruits develop and how they're going to taste, if they're any comparison to the ones we bought at the Amish produce vendor. So right now we've got the row laid out in our garden here. That whole row, well, from here all the way to there is going to be these Amish tomatoes. They are not Amish paste. They were more round, and so I think they were probably some kind of beefsteak or something. They're obviously not brandywines because they don't have brandywine leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down into the hole that I dug. Then I'm going to take some of this high yield tomato and vegetable food. I'm going to be using about 2 tablespoons per plant as per the directions. And as you can see here, it's got an NPK ratio of 4:10:6. So that's the nitrogen versus the phosphate versus the potash. So for tomatoes, I usually try to stay under 5 for the nitrogen because you want a little nitrogen, but too much nitrogen is going to give you all leaves, a very big leafy bushy plant, and little or no fruit. So you don't want to overdo the nitrogen. And the problem is a lot of the fertilizers out there have way too much nitrogen. So yeah, 5 or less for me. And you want your higher numbers to be the other two. So this is a 10 and a 6 for the other two. I'd like a little higher than 6, but 10's pretty good. So we've already got some aged manure, a little bit of aged manure mixed into this soil. This is the high yield that I just spoke about. So I'm sprinkling that all around the seedling. And here's the second tablespoon. And then here we have some soil that's got gypsum mixed into it. So that's going to go all around the edges, just like this. I want more on that side. I'm going to sort of tuck it in around the edges. And then I want to cover this up with the regular native soil, which it's got some lumps of clay here and there. You see that? So that's why we have to work other things into it to sort of lighten it up a bit. Then we're going to come back and water these really well and hope for the best with the grow season. I'm going to be, of course, updating on how these tomatoes are doing. These are the Amish tomatoes. They also have a ton of flowers. They're producing some good fruits here. So, very excited to see these growing so well. And I mean, just talk about crazy flower production. Look at all those little bitty yellow flowers just jumping up everywhere. So, tomato update. We got the trellis put up. We're putting the strings down, clipping the plants to the strings, and there's lots and lots of fruit growing on these. This is one of the Amish tomatoes. So we planted a good dozen or so of those, and they're producing pretty well. Here's another Amish plant, a bunch of tomatoes on that. And that's another one. So we've been getting some leaf curl because of the extreme heat. We don't have a shade cloth. It's not in budget, but we're just going to try to keep things watered. And I mean, everything's producing wonderfully, so we're hoping it's just conserving energy and putting it into the fruit. There's a few over there. And one's blushing down here. Then we have a bunch of blushers over here. And some more at the bottom here. And then there's some reds down there, a bunch up here, and some more down there. There's a bunch more down here. These are mostly all still green here, but there's one blushing back there. And there's like a whole bunch that are turning red at the bottom there. That's another Amish one. So this is another update on our Amish tomato project. There's clusters of these guys that are getting big and they're ripening, and we've been eating these lately. That's a nice ripe one that we just picked, and it is beautifully red, and these things taste incredible, so I think we did a good job growing these. And there's more over here starting to ripen up. It's been raining a lot here, so the stuff that we have to keep the critters away is making little dusty drops on everything. That's it for this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Click the little bell so you'll be notified when we post a new video. Thank you for watching, and happy gardening!